Hello, everyone, and welcome back. It is the Summit 3 North American pre-qualifier, what we're liking to call Phase 1, where we have 8 teams come together and duke it out for 2 spots. 2 spots to make it into Phase number 2, along with more of the established NA teams in the next level. But we have a nice matchup for you here. It's Champions of Summoner's Rift taking on Voidboys. We saw game number 1, a pretty promising start for Summoner's Rift. They made their way into the base. They took out a couple of racks, but they couldn't quite finish on the back of Voidboys with strong defense and a wonderfully played Witch Doctor. They held their own, and they look pretty damn strong. So with that, it's going to be myself, KotLGuy, bringing the coverage, but I got my good buddy Blaze joining me remotely, not here in the studio. It's not Shagbark talking. It's Blaze. Blaze, can you hear me right now? I put in some headphones for you. Hopefully that helped out.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. And looking at this, I mean, we saw some insane Witch Doctor play. The timing on the Aghanim Scepter was way above average, and the play with it was just absolutely astounding. But I think that it was a bit of a mistake for Champions of Summoner's Rift not to play around it as well as they could have, and just overall they're going to be bringing a different strategy to this one here. So they do have Sniper as kind of their opener here, but they're going to back it up with a Space Creator, a buffer hero with that Earthshaker, and it's going to probably be Hani's Shaker, which is absolutely insane. We've seen Demon do some work on the Earthshaker as well, so in either case, I have some high expectations, but Hani's Shaker is absolutely insane. Like, you can go to the highlight reels on that one because he has made some really cool things happen with this hero, and it's a good way to respond to Batrider. Like, if the Lion Hex didn't work, then you can just go ahead and go for the Fisher, and although it won't obstruct him with Firefly, it will cause him some issues. And yeah, they're going to go with what they ran last time, this time under a different carry. Before it was Burning DD standing in. Now Pat Soul is back, and he's going to be rocking the Spectre. Pat
Soul is the star child of this team, or had been for a while. People thought that maybe he moved over and become a part of the Tinker roster, but as it looks, he's gone back. He's going to be a part of Voidboys. Of course, we don't allow anyone to play on 2 teams in the same tournament, so with that, he is going to be stuck with Voidboys. No Tinker play for him, and it looks like it's going to be his turn to kind of get on the back of a Spectre. It worked for him once. We'll try to make it another go, plus the Batrider really just had Banana Slam Jam's number that game. There was a couple of times he was able to slip away, but because of his initiation, because of his isolation plays, the team just kind of rallied behind him very nicely, and, well, they got the job done, and it paid off. So if you got a good thing going, why stop here? This time, though, they are able to ban out the Axe, and now with Summoner's Rift, they lead in with their Sniper. They need the foreground. They need the front runners. They have Earthshaker, who could be a bit of that, plus he's got his long-range stun that could be a combo breaker to anyone try to early harass and early gank the Sniper in lane. They'll still need a bit more muscle power, I feel, at this point, but now it looks like they're going to be banning out the Viper. And, well, we're going to be moving into the second wave of picks here for both teams. Both teams really need a lot of meat on their team, I feel.
Yeah. It might seem a little weird, but I actually would love to see a Shadow Demon pick coming out for Champions of Summoner's Rift. Earthshaker Shadow Demon is a really good lane composition type thing. A defensive disruption on a Sniper would be amazing against the Batrider, and Demonic Purge against Bat is really strong too. I just think that hero is underplayed in general, and right now the drafting pool is lacking defensive supports and reactionary offlaners. Like, we got the Clockwork and Axe taken out, so you need an offlaner that can really get involved when shit hits the fan. You have to be able to respond to that. And same thing with the support. Shaker can do it with 1 stun, but until the Blink Dagger comes out, that's all he'll offer, and I think they need more. So I would really love to see a Shadow Demon, or as far as offlaners, it's tough. I mean, we obviously could go back to the Dazzle for the support option, and that's okay, but this Tide could be what they need.
So there they have someone to kind of take charge in the front, set the stage, set the platform for someone like Sniper to really bring in the DPS and have his own proper positioning. I definitely like it there. You know, Rubik could be something that now Voidboys could consider as a support option. Sure. The benefit of Earthshaker to getting that quick fissure is just beautiful, and now the Ravage is just a nice solid grab there.
Shrapnel's really good too.
Yeah, Shrapnel also, man. So Rubik is going to be tantalizing. We'll see if it's something they do go for. Also, we got to see, last game, they went with an interesting Spectre Witch Doctor dual mid lane get up, which definitely was problem for Brax for a bit. This time, of course, there is the ban on the Witch Doctor, but I'm curious if they'll do that again, maybe not with the Skywrath Mage, or if they can still get someone else to represent the mid lane, like your Storm Spirit. Oh, which was already banned, actually. So it was a first ban Storm Spirit, but I'm like thinking ahead of maybe other gap closers to kind of get in the face of Sniper, because even with Skywrath Mage here, they're still lacking in that department. It's just pretty much on Bat at this point. Well, you know what? Then again, Spectre with that ultimate, This kind of seems to work out nicely here as well. So with that, you get your Skywrath Mage, and it could very well be a dual lane setup again.
Yeah, a lot of ways they can run it for sure. I kind of think that the fact that the Storm and the Clock were banned out initially is what prompted the Sniper first pick, because you have to worry about so much less initiation when those two heroes are off the field. But yeah, Brax's options are kind of thinning out a little bit here. Obviously, wow, I'll go into that in a minute. But yeah, before like Brax's Shadow Fiend, like obviously that's destroyed by that dual lane composition. The Sniper kind of gets to hold his ground a little bit further back with the take aim, and he'll probably prioritize that a little bit more than normal builds. But yeah, this Phantom Lancer is really interesting because I actually, when I look at this hero and try to see where he really fits into team lineups, I think that he's really good at slaying heroes like Sniper because he has that Phantom Rush that is at, I think, at 900 distance at maximum, and that Sniper's auto attack range is only 950. So running through at maximum movement speed, mind you, cannot be slowed at this person, or actually even faster. I think it's like 800 ms static. But yeah, he goes in quick. He cannot be kited. He stays right on top of you, and he brings in a lot of good scaling potential damage. But to commit safe lane farm to him is something that will cost quite a bit. Essentially, he's going to be farming about as slowly as the Spectre is, and the Spectre, I feel, can do a little bit more with that farm. But it's still kind of a new hero to the metagame. Captain's Mode added since the rework. That was only, I would say, a month and a half, 2 months ago. And yeah, we still haven't seen that much from him. We'll see if Voidboy is kind of counterpick with any kind of AoE magical damage, or what else they're looking to bring against this hero.
This is always just a fun period of time when you get a hero like this who just kind of slowly inches his way into the game, and it is a Banana Slam Jamma special. He had been running a lot of Phantom Lancer on his own stream. You can even find footage of him commentating on Fear's play with the new Phantom Lancer. They're two players who definitely like to throw it into their rotation, and, well, they know what they're doing. And that could be tricky for some teams. Some teams haven't had the experience in maybe their scrims and in their kind of practice play to go against the new Phantom Lancer, to know what to expect. And this is not the Phantom Lancer of old. This isn't like a split push cancerous Phantom Lancer. This is a fighting Phantom Lancer now, where you look to really get involved, you get that early diffusal, and then you just look to clean house. And BSJ is one of those players who definitely knows what he's doing with the hero, and something to look out for, and hopefully something that Void Boys will respect here. But they need an answer for maybe potentially that clone period or something. They got an Earth Spirit, very elusive hero in his own right. A bit on the greedy side if you've got that already in, you know, tandem with something like a Spectre, but overall they're banking on the bit of mobility. And with a pick like this, maybe we're not going to be seeing the dual mid lane get up and just more of the traditional Ember Spirit mid lane.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I mean, I guess they could still run the Ember Spirit safe lane, the Spectre mid, if they feel really confident in the duo, but against the Sniper, it's not as easy. And the Rubik Band is really smart here, too, so it's not going to be natural dual lane compositions, I would say. But I'm curious, do you think this is a possible lineup where you could see a Keeper of the Light for champions?
You know, even with the new Phantom Lancer, Keeper of Light could definitely still have potential. Demon plays Keeper of the Light sometimes, and wouldn't be shying away from even setting it up in an aggro kind of get-up. And you definitely still benefit. Phantom Lancer, his nuke still costs a lot of mana. 125 at level 1. You could have free will to kind of spam it out early and create some space, but it's just the way that I've heard BSA talk about when he plays this hero is he's hoping he has the space in lane to kind of build up the early farm, so they might want someone who can really zone as a support. Lion is still there as an option. He ran it last game, obviously found some good farm with it, but we'll have to see what they value as far as the laning get up as far as their supports. If they want to do something to kind of harass the mid lane, be good on rotations, or come and zone back. But Shadow Shaman, another demon special right there. Some teams have been kind of throwing it back into their get up. Hasn't really been in the spotlight as it used to be back in TI4 when it was all about face rush and taking down towers and having a good dire side Roche to work with, but still can get the job done. And, well, with that, you have extra bits of lockdown that you normally would get from your Lion. Yeah,
so essentially I want to kind of juxtapose this with the potential Lion pick and try to compare what one brings to the table that the other doesn't. Because essentially this is still a Hex counter initiator or Hex initiator. You can put the chicken out on the Batrider or the Ember Spirit, keep them locked in position so he can't jump away. Spectre also has a pretty good jump across the map. So yeah, I think that this hero can be compared to Lion, and the one thing that he really offers beyond the Lion is the potential to do Roshan a lot earlier. Like, the Mass Serpent Wards in the pit is something that brings to the table that Champions of Summer's Rift didn't have before. Phantom Lancer is terrible at roshing. Sniper, he's so-so. The Tidehunter can tank for quite a long time, but the Sniper is probably one of the a below-average carry damage dealer. So getting the Shadow Shaman for the Master of Wars in the Pit is really good for them. And then, obviously, they're going to have more tower pressure than the slow siege. So I like that, too. And, yeah, we'll just have to see how well it does in the early laning phase. Like, you were talking about zoning potential in that safe lane, and really all you got is level 1 Aether Shock. Like, it hurts, but it's not going to be getting you those kills without the Shaker being right there as well.
Yeah. And you're going to be doing it against a Bat Rider. It's not going to be the easiest target to kind of prevent him from getting in there and getting the XP. But what about this last pickup from Voidboys here? This is a 4-position Spirit Breaker already put into the hands of Fly. Lots of global presence now coming together with Spectre and his Haunt, and now Spirit Breaker coming in. Is there something I'm missing that he really brings to the table in this kind of game that you need? I mean, Phantom Lancer could definitely hide a bit, but it's not like worthy as you see like a Broodmother where you want to make sure you kind of always have her in your crosshairs. Just maybe keeping the pressure across the game and making sure people are going to be on their toes. It just seems like a bit of an interesting grab.
Yeah, I think it's designed to keep pressure out the gate. I mean, this is a support Spirit Breaker. He's going to be charging, you know, 3 times a minute. Like, he's going to be involved. He's going to be ganking really. This is the Goblak style of Spirit Breaker, where he's just like, he's immediately getting involved. He's probably tower diving. And in general, I would look at this as a hero that attempts to kill off the Sniper. I mean, maybe you can chase with Nether Strike after the Phantom Lancer uses his Doppelganger, but that assumes you know which hero is which. And Doppelganger now gives you a 100% HP illusion to guarantee that it's really hard to tell. So overall, I think that it's designed to get kills early and to build crazy momentum for Ember and Spectre so that you get a great time Battle Fury, you get a great time Bat Rider Blink, and you control the game before Summer's Rift gets to do what they want to do. But I'm afraid that it's going to kind of fall on its ass pretty quickly because of the fact that you have a Fissure and a Hex. Those 2 spells cancel charge immediately, and then the Spirit Breaker can find himself in an absolutely terrible position against heroes with very powerful slows. The Spirit Lance and the Shrapnel could just tear him apart.
Just trying to think if there was like maybe another option that could have worked better. I mean, it feels like you're reaching a bit if this is what you're going for as far as being able to close the gap between yourself and where Sniper's putting his, like, you know, turret status at. Because like you said, I agree. There's just too many things out there to stop him from getting in there. But if they are focusing a lot on stopping Spirit Breaker from getting in there, you won't have much left over for when Spectre pops in with her Haunt. So you might have to make sure you're utilizing these stuns and all these lockdowns in a manner that suits best for the fight that's potentially about to break out. So you may initially think, oh, we got to make sure we get rid of the Spirit Breaker who's charging in, but that could be beautiful for someone like a Spectre who's just looking to come in and clean up the mess that's left over. So we'll see if Summer's Rift have their heads in the game when things can really break out here. Voidboys maybe looking to do a bit of what we saw in the previous game, create some space, allow Spectre to farm up, find good time. Last game, what was it, like 10 assists early on for the Spectre. That certainly helped being able to throw together a good time Relic. Pat Soul, I mean, that was on the stand-in too. This is Pat Soul. This is their main man right here. So if we thought we saw a good Spectre before, I don't want to give them an early caster's curse, but this is their man right now to get the job done. So we're seeing both teams with respectively what is their closest to full rosters right now. Given that maybe on the side of Summer's Rift, it's not supposed to be Hani standing in. It was originally Mad, but he's on a different team. But look at that. Omega Poner has to go the other way. Fly comes in trying to help out, but now attention's on him. They immediately pull back and away. And I guess with that, it's enough to force Omega Poner to kind of heal up, dip into the early regen, or just flat out go back to base. Because right now, he can't really lane too well with just such little life.
Yeah, that charge is awkward. It doesn't secure Bounty Rune, and because there's no greater bash skill, it's not going to actually bash the people that are in the line between hands. So it kind of just a waste of mana from Fly, and a lot of HP gone from Omega Poner. He's actually going to be going all the way back to Fountain and TPing to the front lines. He's not going to stay out here on the battlefield. Maybe at a block, but that's about it.
That's bad.
Yeah, it is really bad. And, like, I don't know, the Spirit Breaker, if Fly is really confident on it, that's one thing. But just overall, I think that this is not the hero that's going to be, I don't know, your executor. He's not going to be going up against the Phantom Lancer and saying, I can carry Dust of Appearance and charge you. Fiel isn't that invis hero anymore. He's a guy who can jump away with this Doppelganger, give you a ton of targets, and unless you have like an Aghanim Scepter, there's no way that you're going to be able to restrict all of them.
You really need a Skywrath to be here to do exactly this. You need to bully back this Tidehunter. You can't allow him to even get a head start on trying to get close to CS, but he's in there right now, and he's finding the CS, so Skywrath can't quite be as confident on zoning him back. Spiritbreaker can't really offer a lot in that field, so he's going to be doing the pull game for now. And we have a courier actually coming in a very awkward route, so hopefully Tidehunter doesn't move over during the pull and catch it out. But with that, meanwhile, up and above, they're making their own zone potential on Mercy Please. He is able to barely make it out. That's the zoning that you do want to see in lane. This is only with a 2 dual lane setup. And Banana even gets the early magic stick just against this Batrider, just to be safe, which is good. Now he has a space that he always asked for, and that I was calling out during the draft. Now he can just find his own CS way and just build up some early momentum. Batrider has to do the long walk back to base. Might even have to spend the money on a TP just to get back sooner. Or is it at this point that maybe he just goes right to the jungle?
Since the lane creep equilibrium is all the way back to the north, where Banana Slam Jamma wants it to be, with this ranged creep denial, you might as well go to the jungle. You can just stack up a couple camps, and when they go for the push, then you have your TP scroll ready to go right back up top. But he's making his move that way, and maybe he thinks that it'll be a little bit different next time. The Shadow Shaman will have to commit to mid to prevent charges, and overall you won't be hit as hard. The Shadow Shaman at level 2 is great. Level 1, eh. But Demon definitely makes his presence known. The Batrider forced out, and even if he comes back to the lane, that amount of time that Banana Slam Jamma gets to farm, he's going to have Aquila and Treads very soon, and those are the only 2 items you need to keep your Lance spammed and just really fight early.
And he's already just so far ahead of even this Batrider that he might be able to hold his own while Demon just kind of scouts out mid. Demon is going to head back once he sees the Batrider return. Maybe he was anticipating that he would go to the jungle sooner as well. But with that, he makes his return. Touching base on mid lane, which we haven't talked much about. Brax on his sniper is 16 and 7, but top, they're making the go on to Demon. Demon gets a hold of Mercy, and with that, Banana Slam Jamma is going to get your first blood. Oh boy, Batrider maybe not expecting that one. He had the ward down on this high ground, but he got caught out somehow. I wasn't even expecting him to get caught like that, but he gets caught. Banana profits even more getting the first blood. And this Batrider, if he's not going to go to the jungle yet, he is persistent. He bought 1 TP. He bought 2 TPs. Uh-oh. Oh, man. Mercy, please. This is not the start you want to have on your Batrider.
Yeah, at this point, I just gotta say, just go jungle. Like, you risk giving some Anchor Smash farm to the Tidehunter, but the risk is worth the reward of not feeding this game, because actually mid lane, Beyond's taking a lot of hits here. Brax doing physical damage, going right through the low armor, and with the vision, he'll bring him down. Will trade his life, but he gets the golden experience. I don't think Spirit Breaker was there with the assist or experience radius, so maybe he was. It's hard to tell, but you know, no experience change the other way. So it is just Sniper getting that free kill, and although he does die, he's much better off for it.
Yeah, certainly so. So he manages to bring down the Ember. They'll have to make his way back on in. Hani has been on stacking duty here, working with the Ancients, helping out his Miracle Chipmunk ally, being able to fall back as his Tidehunter and could boost himself towards the Blink Dagger get up. But Demon looking to do a bit of rinse and repeat here in the top lane, waits in the dark, or he thinks, but he's not. He's scouted out from above right here. Batrider in good position to be able to retreat back, but here comes the charge. They want to turn on the Demon here. As the charge gets closer, Mercy comes in from the high ground, and now he's the one going to be in trouble. Trying to roast and toast him up right now. Rotisserie chicken. Come on, baby. They fly up and above. Banana has to interject here. His Ether Shock brings him down pretty low, but he will survive. Fly not letting up yet. He wants to finish what they started. Can he get it? Oh! Immediate turnaround! Shackle, but they are going to get it. And with the charge, Fly will make his safe escape. Overall, does work out for the Void Boys there, being able to get the kill. Batrider, unfortunately, is not a part of that kill and has to fly himself all the way back to base. But at least Fly gets a bit of a boost, and they take Demon down. But hey, I don't even think that's an advantage for Void Boys. Banana Slam Jamma now gets to just continue to work in his lane, uncontested, and I think they're going to be fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, Demon doesn't mind. He got to go boots first, and he still got an assist on one of the early kills here. He's sent back the Batrider multiple times. He's done his job in the Hand of Midas, that space that he was looking for, now on Banana Slam Jamma. So yeah, he's going to go the Aquila Treads at this point. Didn't even have to go boots of speed before that Hand of Midas comes out, and he's going to be able to build himself up very nicely here. Mercy, please, right back on the lane, right back into the shackles. Watch yourself, dude. Oh,
there it is. He gets shackled trying to dance around with this side camp that he'd been... It's like the only scraps he's been able to work with for now. As he's still level 3. Might be able to get it there. Oh, Ether Shock going to fly on through, but he still manages to get the last hit on that one. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Miracle Chipmunk trying to get a hold of that rune as it spawns, the 6-minute one, but he gets charged back, and now he's got to run. The 2 Tiara build-up, is it going to be enough? The circlets, the fissure rotation from Hani certainly helps, but it's not going to save him. It's Pat Soul who's able to move on forward and get the last hit.
Yep, and Braxter's is controlling the mid very nicely. The Batrider forced to the jungle here. Mercy Please had a hell of a Batrider game before, but he just played really well in game 1 in general. But I would have to say here, it's just, he probably should have, as soon as he got killed off that first time, it was a mistake, but you accept that mistake and you look at the present state of the game. And that was a state where he just couldn't continue to do what he was doing. He does go back to some nice stacks here. He doesn't have to do it for himself, though, and he will bounce back on farm. Like, he's still going to get a Blink Dagger at maybe 12 minutes, and that won't be too bad. Hani, though, with the potential Fissure on mid.
Early shrapnel gets laid down. The fissure, doesn't put it yet, but the remnant forward will catch him, but Brax is in a terrible position, and with Fly getting involved, there is nothing he could do. Little Sniper has no escape mechanism, so he just has to take it. They were hoping to kind of be able to lead in and get their own kill, but with Fly coming in, that is not the case. Now Dagger flies out. Pat Soul looks to come on in and help clean up Demon. Demon could be in trouble. He has no mana to do anything. Finally has Hex, but it's not going to matter. He gets taken down. Pat Soul gets another kill for himself. Hani comes in, drops the Fissure. Fly, though, is going to be able to walk away from this.
Yeah,
Hani's clarity up, but not going to nearly have enough to put out a Fissure. And Fly should be able to charge here in a moment. Brax. Shrapnel. Yep, gets it right there with the Shrapnel. Okay, good TP in. Brax gets his money back right there. Nicely done. Meanwhile, top lane, Banana actually gets a Midas for his PL.
Yeah, I mean, if you can afford it, I mean, that stage in the game is just insane. I mean, he got the early kill, got the early farm, and this hero is not nearly as illusion dependent as he used to be. Like, you can get an item that doesn't benefit illusions, and it's okay. You can get a Vanguard or a Hand of Midas, whatever you want, and you're still going to be able to build up a really resolute core of great potential. And we're actually going to see a charge back on mid. Hani did not interrupt that first charge with the Fissure. We'll see if he's able to respond with the next one. He has the Fissure available, but he's going to have to catch the Spear Breaker, or they could just hide under the tower and be perfectly fine. This Observer Ward is actually really well placed to make it so that those commitments are hard to follow through on. But in the meantime, Mercy Please jungling. That Blink Dagger timing we were looking at, pretty much on point for that. And the Ravage is not skilled up on bottom. That's interesting. Actually, we see Chipmunk went for 0-3-3 in his skill build.
Oh, quick disjoint right there. Voids the Remnant, but they keep going on to Banana Slam Jammo. The rotations are coming, but are they going to come quick enough? Hani is waiting. He has no mana for the Fissure, and he can't help. Tried to clarity up, but it just wasn't enough. Oh, man, the babysitter unable to sit the baby. And with that, Banana Slam Jammo will go down. Good rotation work from Voidboy. They get that kill. Banana, up to that point, had been just kind of doing whatever the hell he wants in this game.
Yep, so the Miracle Chipmunk skill build here, if it's intentional, which I believe it is, it means that he's entirely dependent on these Ancients that have been stacked up for him. It wasn't warded up at all. He knows that this stack is juicy, and if he can just go over here with 3 points in Kraken Shell, they can't do any damage to him. So he kind of committed that skill build and says, hey, I'll be level 7, level 8 very soon anyway. So he'll get his mana back very shortly. Head back out to that stack, and if it's not contested, he's fine. If it is, this is a Tidehunter without a Ravage for a while.
Already was an interesting build-up from him with the 2 circlets right there, but he has his own way of doing things, and it will pay off. And like you said, normally most teams, like nowadays, you don't see Tidehunter much anymore. A lot of professional players have already outspoken how they don't feel the hero is what it used to be, or is just not worth the slot or the offlane position. And people just kind of, when you get comfortable playing these heroes so long, you just know what to expect. So you see teams when that go against Tidehunters nowadays, they'll even put down those wards on the Ancient stack and just look to take it in, because if he doesn't get that stack, it's a huge hit to his economy, and it really slows everything down for him, and it's hard to recover. But in this game, it's not the case. So he just goes ham right now on this fat old stack. No contention for now, it looks like. And, well, this will certainly help out getting that Blink Dagger in good time. Meanwhile, the runes are going to pop up. It's a DD, going to be balled up from beyond there on the bottom. Leaves the bounty at the top. No one going for it quite yet. Let's talk about Brax here a little bit, though. Mid lane, 60 and 26 CS. We switch over to net worth. He's third on it right now. And it looks like he's going to go for a Sage and Yasha get up, leading in with the Sage first and foremost.
Yeah, so a nice little bit of HP. It might actually allow him to survive through the ultimate of either Batrider or Spirit Breaker. And that alone creates a lot of value, just getting that effective HP. And as you mentioned, he'll build it up very naturally into items that are commonplace on that hero. So works out pretty well. We're actually going to maybe see a smoke charge here. The cool thing about a smoke charge is that essentially Fly, not sure where the observer wards are. If they're like up on a cliff, showing his position before he gets there, then it's very easy for Summoner's Rift to respond. If he's charging out of smoke at his seat, there's no way that they are going to complete a full TP by the time the charge goes through. And it's going to be with the Batrider Blink Dagger as well. So we're going to have some really good engagement potential. And we're probably going to see this new Doppelganger come into play. We'll see if it actually is able to get away with this new ability. And it's a great defensive one, but there's a lot of lockdown coming his way.
Yeah. We've already seen him put it to use here, but he might need to get it right now. Charge is coming. He sees it. He waits. He does the jump. He's going to be fine, but Lasso's going to follow through onto Demon instead. A Blink Lasso is going to connect first and foremost. Nether Strike is what's going to finish him off, but that fissure locks Pat Soul in place and allows Banana Slam Janna to clean it up. Assassinate flies on the fly. He has got 80 life. He will be able to earn himself up. And now he'll charge away. Oh, Shrapnel just a little too late. Doesn't matter, though. He's able to charge himself into the Promised Land towards bottom lane. But the pings are there. And it looks like he'll be safe in the arms of Omega Poner, which now he drops down the Sentry into the Ancient Stack, but it's already been done. And if we look at Tidehunter, he's got 1,800 gold already. After just quickly picking up Arcane Boots and doing that stack, he is so damn close. But meanwhile, mid lane, jump on forward beyond, looking to make the go into Brax. Brax not safe. He gets charged in and has no help nearby as he gets burnt up. Mercy Plays gets him with the Fire Flight. Now they turn back. They get Demon as a 2-for-none special. Voidboys cleaning house in the mid lane for now. They know that Summoner's Rift are going to be fighting short-handed. Banana Slam Janna is just more focused on cleaning out and farming this top lane, but back on mid once more. They go for Hani, and they make it 3. They wipe out both supports and the mid laner all day. They didn't even need the help from Pat Soul on that one. They just get it done.
If you look at the Golden Experience graph, if Miracle Chipmunk hadn't gotten that Ancient Stack, that would have actually been just disastrous. But because there's so much going the way of Voidboys and that quick spike where he farms up the Ancients, they actually can weather that. They can say, okay, well, we took some heavy losses, lost a couple of key engagements, but in the end, this Tidehunter offlane is still a higher farm than the Ember Spirit mid. Like, that's insane. The amount that the Tide was able to get for free out of the Ancient, it's just the investment of Earthshaker's time. All Hani had to do is commit a few seconds every minute, and suddenly this Tide is 4th on net worth. He's got Blink Arcanes. He can look at items like Refresher Orb or Force Staff very early on. And Voidboys, I mean, they got carries, but these carries will take some time. The Spectre needs maybe an Aura, Mantis Style, anything like that. And the Ember Spirit, I don't think is going to do anything without a Battle Fury.
You can tell just for both teams, this is their time to kind of create the space and allow those late gamers to really blossom. Spectre definitely won to be the queen of the late game now. 2,500 gold saved up. On the other side, you have BSJ playing your Phantom Lancer, who has been getting involved with a couple of kills. 2-1-0 for now, using and constantly having the Midas, but as he goes for the rune, he was welcomed by Voidboys, and now he goes down. Meanwhile, they get a hold of Brax and bring him back. This is disaster right now for Summoner's Rift. They lose both of their cores in the mid lane, and it both gets picked up from Ember. Beyond just going on an unrelentless tear here, even able to chain up your Tide, who can't get close enough to even help out with his poor little Ravage. I've yet to see that even debuted in this game. Oh man, Voidboys now 12-7. They get a big boost in the economy with that.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, being able to use the Spectre Haunt as efficiently as we had for the first game here, they really know how to work on the Spectre, Pat Soul or not, and they're having a pretty good run at it. I mean, the Skywrath still doesn't have his ulti, and he's still been involved in 4 kills. I mean, that's very nice indeed.
Oh, poor Hani, though. Poor Hani. That's all I have to say. He's very
net
poor.
worth 322 net worth. Seriously, guys, what happened here?
It's been a hard game. He's been able to leech up some XP because of those stacks, but finding farm is a different task right now. So he is nowhere near being able to build up a little bit of sustained power for himself. Even shoes. Just get the boy to a Payless shoe store or something. He's got to get some way to get mobile across the map. At least he has the TP to get involved if something breaks out, but until kills start coming their way and he's somewhat involved with it, he is going to be broke as a joke. So it is a tough start for the stand-in for them. But on the other side, the Scrooge McDuck of the game right now seems to be the Voidboy Spectre. Pat Soul, 3,300. Relic is almost coming together for him, and we saw how things turned around dramatically in the last game when Spectre was able to get those items online. We could see a bit of the same thing happening here. And remind you, Summoner's Rift coming into this matchup, 80% favorites. But now Hani, the poor Hani, gets caught mid lane, kidnapped. It's going to be easy cleanup for Beyond, who now has a mega kill streak. 1,300 gold after Phase and Drums. This is Voidboy's time right now, and more pressure on the back of BSJ to pull it together with his Phantom Lancer. And same for Brax on this Sniper. They need to find their way, and they need to find it quick.
It might be tier 1 for tier 1 trade, which would not be bad for Summoner's Rift to get a little bit of extra gold on their poorest heroes, but they're just going to go for the fight!
Big jump in, Ravage connects nicely, but do they have the damage follow-up? Banana Slam Jam comes in to help clean up the mess. They are able to take down 2. Now here comes the Haunt. Demon very low on life, heads to the high ground to get away from that illusion and will be safe. A 2-for-none trade, probably the biggest fight of this game so far for Summoner's Rift. They still lose their tier 1, but finally we see Chipnug jump in and unleash the first real Ravage of the game.
Yeah, so the tier 1 tower falls down bottom. They're pushing in the tier 1 mid. The tier 1 on their side definitely was up for deny. I'm not sure if they got it, but in either case, they just put out a hell of a Ravage there. Just really showing what this Tide can do and what he's going to keep doing. I mean, it's been insane how much he's gotten. And poor Hani, he's finally moving in some real direction. He's got 2 clarity potions for himself. He has the do-it-yourself keeper the light going for him. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's worth the investment entirely. Like, the fact that Hani put up just a few seconds a minute to get the Tide online to this degree, I mean, that's worth pennies a day. That is definitely is. And we got a Sniper on our hands with the Sanj and Yasha. We've got this Phantom Lancer Midas turning into a Diffusal Blade, and these levels are actually going to be really good for him. Like, getting to level 16 is pretty nice for him.
Boy.
He gets to max out his Phantom Rush.
Top, they get a hold of Demon at the same moment. They also silence Hani, so they just easily clean out both those supports. Voidboy's happy to look for fights and take them, knowing that Ravage is going to be down. They are not threatened whatsoever, so they easily clean out those couple of supports. This is match point right now for Voidboys, and this is not looking good for Summoner's Rift. They lose this game, they are out. Voidboys, a team that many considered to just kind of be a wash, and maybe with Pat Soul changing rosters and moving over to a different squad, that maybe this spot could have been replaced, but they're showing that they have potential, and they are worth it. And with an upset here, they could move on to the next round and maybe be one step closer to just making it to phase number 2. But that's just looking ahead to the big picture. Voidboys still have to close this game out. For now, top lane, they're looking to finish down this tier 1 tower. And Summoner's Rift just need to kind of continue to hold on and hope that their PL and their Sniper could be a big factor here.
So, I mean, for now, they still have a tower advantage for Summoner's Rift, and although the carries for Voidboys are scary, I would have to say the supports for Voidboys are not. Like, Spiritbreaker and Skywrath, you expect them to get kills, assist, action in the early game. But as the game progresses, they do less and less. I mean, obviously, the Nether Strike is still always going to be relevant, can go right through Magic Immunity, and we're going to see a charge on mid, but at best, you get the lowly Hani.
Well, they'll take what they can get. Echo as he shows off his level 6, but he's still going to be hit pretty damn hard. Just a slaughter right there. They are able to get the wards down. It certainly helps out. They finish off Fly. It's going to be taken from Demon right there as BSJ looks to get involved as well. So a 1-for-2 trade, still working to the benefit here for the Voidboy. And now Summoner's Rift just try to follow it up with some sort of objective. Tier 1 tower very low. Glyph going to be popped at the last possible second. And Chipmunk going to be brought down right there on the back of a Silence Mystic Flare. And the tower deny. Voidboy, beautiful, beautiful work here in the mid lane.
Yeah, really just able to do so much even without the Ravage. And they go ahead. They're just going to be moving forward, bringing down their target of choice, and they need to delay that Orchid. They need, or sorry, not Orchid, Oblivion Staff follow through to the Refresher Orb. They need to make sure that he doesn't get to turn that into something bigger, because honestly, if they can't do that, then the game's already over. But as it stands, I mean, the Refresher Orb will come out inevitably, but pushing it back past the Battle 3 timing is what they really need. If Beyond is up against a Refresher time before he can even deal with the PL's illusions, it's just going to be a terrible game. But right now, they've got the Radiance, they're going to have the Battle Fury pretty soon, and that alone is really putting them in a position where they can still take the game. And we've seen it with their initiation, with their very nice skill usage, and I mean, they can really press the advantage of the fact that this is a 600 net worth Earthshaker.
So now we see for now, Brax going to farm up couple of stacks here at the Ancient Camp as he has the Ogre Club now. Really putting on the muscle here for your little sniper, but looks like a BKB is possibly in order here. So, with that, Omega Poner nearby, maybe scouting it out pings. Knows what's happening here. They have the ward on the high ground, but help is nearby. It's not going to be an easy jump. In fact, smoked up is going to be both Demon and Hani. And Chipmunk here, they move in, and they're going to quickly wipe out Skywrath Mage. What the hell are you doing here? Just immediately take him down. Charges out on Hani for now, and help is possibly on the way. Mercy Please is already in flight. Doesn't have much time left on the flight, though, so he can't really commit to the lasso with it for now. But we'll see. Summer's Rift, got to feel pretty confident if a fight does break out. This time they have the Ravage ready to go. But with that, Void Boys don't want to take a fight. They pull away from bottom lane and go elsewhere.
Yeah, so they brought 2 smokes to this. I think the first one was intended for Ember Spirit. They wanted to delay that Battle Fury. They just got the Blink Hex for Demon, so this would be the perfect way to drop it. But now the second smoke comes out, and I think they will get Beyond.
Uh-oh, are we going to get a jump in here? Fissure sets it up, and we're going to get a follow-through from Chipmunk. He gets bumped out of the way from Fly. They take down Emperor. There's going to be the Ravage, only connecting on Fly, but they'll take what they can get. Haunt is there to fly through. They want Brax. Pat Soul going right in from behind, gets pushed forward from Mercy and gets the kill. Haunt's able to make it away on TP. Chipmunk, not going to be so lucky. He gets dropped. Triple kill for Pat Soul as he cleans up the board. That Radiance now, huge damage output. Oh my god. Also cleans out Ultra Kill as he takes down Banana. That is supposed to be the dark horse for Summoner's Rift. And Pat Soul just comes in with a huge bounty's worth of gold. 1,500 net worth swing the whole way. He's got 3K gold. He almost has a heart. Unbelievable.
Wow. Just insane. I mean, that just turned the game on its head. He probably will still go for the build that we saw last game, going into Manta style first, as the damage isn't that insane right now. I mean, obviously, a full-on Echo Slam would be devastating to the illusions, but, you know, that. So, he's finally getting his boots of speed here. 22 and a half minutes in is the boots of speed record here for the Earthshaker. He's finally got the Nikes on, but Spectre, that Ultra Kill just puts him so far ahead. It does hurt the Ember Spirit. He loses out, but the team comes up so much further ahead, and they're even going to go on Brax top.
Uh-oh, I gotta get the hell out of here. Oh, help me someone, please. Lord have mercy. Hani's gonna be here, and we'll need to dish out the Fissure to help out, because Nether Strike connects, puts Brax in a bit of a pickle here, but Fly's now gonna be focused from the rest of the Summoner's Rift squad, and will be brought down. But look how low Brax is. My god, thank goodness there's no Haunt ready to go. So he'll have to walk back to base very wounded from that front. But Fly, admirable to try to make a big dive like that. Mercy, please, try to get involved as well, but will not get close enough, unfortunately. So a small pickoff right there. Summer's Rift just kind of gifted that one with the overdive, but they have eyes already on top lane on Banana Slam Jamma here, and help is near. Oh boy. Batrider gets close. He can get the lasso. Oh, and he uses the disjoint just to try to get further away, but here he comes. Force, blink, grab, kidnap him, pull him back. Beyond's gonna be there. Mystic Flare follow-up. Boom. Shakalaka. See you later, Phantom Lancer.
Yeah, one thing I gotta say is that he's really not using the potential of that Doppelganger to its fullest. If he actually micros all the illusions with him, maybe using like a unified unit order of the control click, then he can actually make it a lot more difficult for the Batrider to find that opening where he blinks in and he gets the hit. Because again, the glowiest illusion, the very golden yellow one, that actually takes 100% damage, like a Morphling Replicant does. So it's very hard to tell fake from real, and if he micros them together, he could escape, but here we go.
Alright, well they go on to Brax again. This time they get the follow-up Ravage to save him, but he still goes down inevitably, and Pat Soul dishes out the Haunt, and you can already see the damage crumble here. Another double kill already thrown together for Pat Soul. Hani, thank God I have an invisibility rune. Nope, but he walks towards a sentry, or they have a gem. They have the gem already on Batrider, so he's just done for. 3, 4 go down all day if you count Banana Slam Jamma. Oh boy, Voidboy's looking to close out this series pretty damn fast as a 2-0. They could have potentially peeked in and maybe got something started with Roche, but they don't even care about that. They step back and just go right back to their farm.
Yeah, I really thought with the Todd getting as much farm as he had and the Spectre and Ember, I mean, they were doing okay, but the supports weren't doing that much work. I actually thought this was going to go the other way, but Pat Soul, man. This guy just had the perfect ultis, the perfect chase, Spectral Dagger and right-click pursuit. He just jumps on the sniper every time with the reality, and there's not much that even an S&Y phase boot sniper can do to get out of that situation. Like, as soon as the Haunt comes out, he's got to be purely on the defensive. He's probably got to have a Fisher on top or a Ravage. They tried to do the Ravage, but they actually only hit the Spectre illusion. He jumped right after the tentacles had crossed that threshold. So, yeah, Patzel just gets to play with his food. He just gets to run around the entire map, and now he's got the Manta style, which is just amping up his damage, making it very difficult for them to just pin him down in particular. And, of course, everything that goes
Nowhere
to the
is safe. They think they can do this ancient stack, but still the assault comes. Beyond's got a double damage, and he's looking to put it to hard use here, but it's going to be diffused away. Still, though, Chipmunk's going to end up being taken down. Banana Slam Jamma looking to get involved here, but they had tried to do this, of course, without their Ravage ready to go. And with that, they drop one. They're going to get a shot, maybe? Assassinate is going to be canceled there. And they go back to their ancient stack. But Voidboy's constantly let them know, we have eyes on you, and we're not going to let you do anything easy. Uh-oh, silence is there. BSJ can be brought down here, and will be. Beautiful assault. Beyond now going to get trapped up within the wards. Echo Slam follow-up, but Pat Soul just jumps over those wards, goes for Hani. The very weak cow is going to be immediately turned into a fillet. And now Demon trying to run, but the burn of the Radiance will not let him go. Pat Soul continues to move on forward, cleans house. Beyond godlike, and another double kill for Pat Soul. This is a Spectre clinic right before your eyes, plus some wards to clean up.
Yeah, why not? Nobody's alive to stop you. Just do what you want. Take what's yours, essentially, and he's going to have a heart soon. Dispersion plus Heart of Tarrasque. You don't even have the Culling Blade to chop off that last bit of HP without taking the return damage. I mean, he's got this built-in AoE Blade Mail effect, and it's going to start hurting just more than Summoner's Rift can bear. I mean, they don't have a healing effect. They don't have Mechanism, nothing but Magic Wand as far as I can tell, and they don't even have very many of those, which is surprising because they're up against a Bat Rider. Phantom Lancer sold his, and the Tide is the only one with a stick. So, yeah, they have no healing on their team. They're just going to drop as soon as they go on the Spectre. Even if they put all of their force into him and he doesn't get to run away with the fight, the Dispersion alone is going to take nearly half their health.
I just don't see what their answer will be for this Pat Soul Spectre. Manta now complete, near 2,500 gold already saved up towards completing out what I imagine being that heart. And then those illusions. And as a support, you're just like, what do you do? You're forced to maybe use your Hex just to try to save your own life, a Fissure to try to create some space for yourself. But these are essential tools that you need in these team fights, and you're just using them defensively to save your own ass, or save your core's ass, or something. And that's not where you want to be. They're just desperate to try to find some bits of farm on the side. They know that obviously Void Boys have vision, or somehow, some way know when they're doing the ancient stack. So they put down a sentry on the high ground and over here on the low ground just to make sure. And now Brax can hopefully, comfortably be able to find the farm for himself. So he starts pot-shotting with these ancient stacks for now. But look who's nearby, scouting it out. Mercy Please does not have the gem for now. It was handed over to Pat Soul after he went down. But he is being scouted out, jumps in, sees Hani, dishes him away. The Ravage connects beautifully and is going to be a good setup, but is it enough to allow them to make the comeback? Omega Punter goes down thereafter, and they quickly wipe out 4. They take everyone out except the big Spectre, who doesn't even look to get involved with the Haunt.
Yeah, I think it's a really smart play that he didn't commit the ultimate, because that was so devastating, the initiation for Summer's Rift, and they will get the Roche based on this, even if their lineup is really bad at taking Roche in general.
That was not the jump you wanted to do for your bat. Maybe hoping he can catch a lingering support on his own, but was not anticipating most of Summer's Rift being there. And with that follow-through, that Ravage conveniently just blasts everyone, and they get the first big fight that they have certainly needed this game. And with that, they're able to follow through with a Roche. I don't think there's going to be any sort of last-second haunt, certainly not. So with that, Age is going to be snagged up, actually gets handed over to Brax at this point, and this has been a small breath of fresh air for Summoner's Rift at this point, because up till this point, it had been all Voidboy all day.
Most definitely. It still kind of feels that way with Pat Soul being as big as he is, and we know what Spectre can do with farm, but there is a silver lining coming in for Summoner's Rift here. They get the Aegis, they can kind of look for an objective-based play, and if they get another great Ravage initiation, I think that they could theoretically bring this back. But Hani's got to get that Blink Dagger, and everybody's got to get tankier. Lifesteal, Mechanism maybe. Like, I honestly, for the Refresher Orb almost being there for the Tide. He's on the cusp of the Refresher Orb, and I still think that maybe going back for the mech isn't all that bad, because if you actually consider how Dispersion is going to work with this heart, like, you don't want to know. how much pure damage she's putting out to those that are right next to her. It kind of fades out at distance, but in the minimum radius, I'll do the math on it once she actually has the heart, but oh, this is just disgusting return damage output.
That's the one thing that she does have to fall back on. As the team fight slowly comes together for Summoner's Rift, that refresher could be near complete here for Tidehunter. And plus the Blink Dagger actually almost in the hands of Hani. Oh no, he doesn't get it. He's going for Hand of Midas. A very late Hand of Midas to play catch up here. Oh man. Well, we'll hope it pays off for him. Meanwhile,
Certainly.
bottom lane, they take that tier 1 down. Voidboy's not looking to let up quite yet. Maybe taking advantage of that small window of time while Ravage is still down. Fly could be in trouble though. Fissure's going to connect, jump in, Gush, and they take down the Spirit Breaker. But here we go. Haunt flies forward. Beyond could be in trouble, but Pat Soul's looking to get involved, and they lasso up BSJ and take down the PL. So with that, they find their own return kill, which is definitely more profitable than just losing their Spirit Breaker. And with that, Pat Soul looking to play patty cake with this tier 2 tower.
So going back to that math that I was talking about here, with the Spectre having now 2,800 HP with Heart, it's actually for anybody that's within 300 units of Spectre, so practically melee range of Spectre. If she goes from 100 to 0 instantly, if they just have like a super finger of death, you're dead. That person takes 750 pure damage to their face. Like, it doesn't go through pure spell immunity, so Sniper with a BKB will be okay. But anybody else that is in melee range, or even really close to the Spectre, is going to be taking so much damage. 750 just from Dispersion, not counting the Radiance, not counting her right clicks or her dagger. Like, that's most of these heroes at like 3/4 of their HP. It's insane.
We'll see, though. They do have a couple of BKBs to certainly help with that. It comes down to the execution and timing of those BKBs to make sure you don't, well, get your ass beat by your own will. So with that, the healing up, BSJ will be coming up in a moment's notice. You saw the refresher orb now being complete on Mr. Bugatti 420. We'll be able to blaze it up not once but twice, I suppose, with this refresher. And well, we'll see if it's going to be a game changer, as on the side of Voidboys, there really is no BKBs. I mean, this Ember Spirit could get caught out and brought down pretty damn fast if on Ultra Lockdown mode. Pat Soul does have the durability to probably withstand both of them, but if his team is all gone and they're able to focus fire the Spectre, it could work out nicely. They have plenty of lockdown available there with Demon having that Blink Dagger, and of course Hani. He'd been pretty poor up to this point, but who really knows if he could be the dark horse for his team to really bring in some crucial lockdown and echo slams to try to bring this game back. It certainly is not over. Most of the tier 2s still standing on the side of Summoner's Rift, and their base has yet to be really, you know, hit hard.
I actually think the BKBs coming out from Brax and Banana Slam Jam are extremely important this game, even though, like, you look at the lineup and you're like, oh, you only are really worried about the Skywrath when it comes to those BKBs. But the Spirit Breaker puts out a lot of magical damage with his spells, and that Spectre Dispersion plus Radiance, you don't want to go toe-to-toe with that without an extra shield there. He's actually going to throw a few pot shots his way, and he'll try to keep his distance, but Pat Soul, he could just pop that ultimate turn really hard. Demon dropping down the Hex, so Megaponer goes down, and they've got an Aghadom's Mass Serpent Ward to drop on some towers.
That's something we haven't seen a lot of, is Summoner's Rift being able to get some objectives themselves and then follow it up with some big tower damage, which they certainly could do. Tier 2 might not be worth... No, it will be worth, according to Demon. He wants to just drop down the wards and get the secured tower takedown if possible. With Brax waiting on the back lines here, he can get some quick shots in. A blink in from Mercy, I guess, to just clear out the wave, but it's not going to stop them from getting the tower. Brax gets the last hit on it as well as they head back towards the bottom of the river. And they would be welcomed by a DD rune. They look to take that and put it back into a fight. That would be very profitable for them. They have 2 Ravages at their disposal to use in the next fight.
So we're going to be seeing Roche respawn in about 3 minutes here. Summoner's Rift need this Roche just to really keep it the momentum that they currently have. They have an Aghadom's Mass Serpent Wards. We saw how quickly it takes down the tier 2. And one thing to mention is that they don't really... Voidboys don't have great heroes to clear them out. Ember Spirit certainly can't clear out the wards right-click by right-click. Maybe Spectre with her Manta style can get a few free hits on that. But overall, those Mass Serpent Wards are going to stay up in the fight. They can't ignore them, but they also can't really focus them down one single target at a time. So... yeah, it's pretty awkward to have to deal with this, and when Shadow Shaman hits 16, that'll be even more impactful. So we're going to see the double Ravage available, and we also are going to be seeing a Spectre BKB. Not a very common pickup for this hero. I would rank it up there with the Phantom Lancer BKB, but in this case, both are very warranted. You really got to stop that Ravage.
Can they do it, though, is a big question. They have to know by now he has the Refresher Orb and the Double Ravage ready to go. And you can kind of already feel the body language change a bit for Voidboys. It's not that quick pick, find, you know, jumps and make it happen. Now they got to play a bit more reserved. Ever since they got caught out in that bottom lane engagement, it feels like they've been playing a bit more passive than they did before. So, which is definitely going to work out for them. They want to be able to get beyond some farm, so it's not all on Pat Soul to kind of bring this game home. They want this Ember Spirit to be able to do some good brute force damage early on, get out quick couple of sleight of fists, and with a cleanup from Haunt, it can make for some easy work. But if Beyond is to be caught from these Ravages, he could be pretty flimsy and easily taken advantage of. So now Voidboys pressure this top lane, looking to go and finish off this tier 2 tower. It doesn't look like Summer's Rest are looking to defend it or contest. They want to wait it out a bit, scout out, see maybe when the Roche pops up, get a hold of a secured Aegis, and that's when they could finally feel like they're the ones in the upper hand in some of these fights.
And this is going to be pretty intense here. If the sniper finishes his Eye of Scotty, I think that's really when he's going to be able to not only dish out a good amount of damage, but stay in the fight the whole time. So he's got his 10-second BKB and soon to be Eye of Scotty. That's really big. But of course, the Batrider Lasso could take that out entirely. And I feel that they're getting really well prepared for this refresher. Like the 3 BKBs from Voidboys, it depends. We've seen Fly when he played on Team Secret, or I guess he was Simba at the time, but in either case, he pulled off some amazing Blink Ravages where essentially it just made it so as if the person didn't have a BKB. He caught them off guard so well that for the entire fight duration, they couldn't get their Black King bar off, and that item is really only good if you use it. So we'll see. I'm assuming Pat Soul will get his off because he's jumping into the fight of his own volition with the reality, but other heroes might be less fortunate.
And I think Voidboys have done a good job preparing well. They have some pretty aggressive wards down on top, and along the bottom, maybe they could see any backliners like your Tidehunter before they have the opportunity to make their big jump. And then if you look over the vision here for Summoner's Rift, it's pretty lackluster as it is for now. But the jump mid lane, they go for Beyond. There's going to be the Ravage, but they don't catch him. He's able to force out and away. What a save from Batrider. And now they look to turn it on in. Bugatti, does he refresh and use the second one? No, he doesn't. He has to hold it. He goes down. No buyback for him. Jump in for Mercy. Gets a hold of BSJ, and Pat Soul should be able to help clean him up, and will. Beyond godlike, Pat Soul, the domination continues here. Oh, the potential was there, but my God, what a beautiful Force Staff, as they are not able to lock anyone down, and they are prepared and ready for those Ravages.
I can scarcely believe my eyes. That was insane. 2 Force Staffs simultaneously, one from Megaponer, one from the Batrider, turning it into a Shiva Ravage. Like this big initiation we've been priming for, with all the farm in this Tidehunter, suddenly he can't hit squat, and it's not his own fault. It's just some amazing play from Voidboys, as they just show that they're ready for anything. And it's not like they had vision. They don't have wards in their area. It's just they respond so quickly. And yeah, Demon, he jumps in the Mass Serpent wards. They don't do enough. BKB is flying out everywhere, and as you mentioned, that refresher, it hasn't been popped yet, but that might be a bad thing because he's probably gonna have to pop it to defend his base.
As Pat Soul takes to high ground, gets some early licks in on this tier 3 tower. Try to shoot the bat on the ass to get him the hell out of there, says Brax, and Voidboys look to play it a little bit extra, you know, a little safe here. BSJ still down for about 15 seconds time, but they don't want to, you know, test their luck. They know that it was only one Ravage used and don't want to risk throwing anything away. So they take their advantage, they take their fight and their tier 2, and they walk away and look to continue to itemize.
So before we were looking at this Hani Midas, and the game almost looked like it was about to end, so it was a very awkward time for the Midas to come out, and we weren't certain about it. I honestly thought that it might be a mistake, but when you think about what a Blink Dagger would have done, I actually think that this might have been the better choice, because against a Spectre, it's really hard to get that blink off, and you can't rely on it in every fight. Generally speaking, Hani's going to be staying back, waiting for the Haunt, but once that Haunt comes through, either the right click or the Radiance is going to put that Blink Dagger on cooldown. So by going for the Midas, he can go for other items, and we see the Batrider jump in.
They try to go for Roche, and they get jumped on. Beyond immediately gets a quick swift one right there, but outside the base, Brack's going to be focus fired. The poor little sniper has nowhere to go, and he is just going to get ran over. And with that, these wards are only going to be helping out Voidboy clean up the extra pocket change, and then finish out what they started in the pit. Oh, very unfortunate timing right there, thinking they could do the behind-the-back play to get that Aegis. Not going to be happening. Hani on the high ground. Fissure, now Mercy scouts him out. Buzz on his own echo, but it's on the ground. Can he get in there? He can't. The Fissure's in the way. And Ember's going to be able to grab it up. It was so close, but because of the Fissure, he couldn't find a clear path. Beyond quickly snags it up. And with that, even though it was a nice Ravage setup, there is just no follow-through at this point. Banana Slam Jamma is able to take one down before he goes, but it's 5 down all day. Still the Beyond Godlike streak continues for Pat Zoll. 16, 1, and 11 on his Spectre.
Tide may have dropped his stick, but he still had an Iron Branch in his inventory when he went for that play. Oh, so close to sniping that Aegis, but no, it goes the way of Voidboy. They actually retain it throughout the entire engagement. Hani gets jumped by the Batrunner and killed off without using his Midas. Pat still gets a Refresher Orb. Man, it's just... Voidboy's really had this initiation down to a T. This actually is showing how real they can be with this team lineup that they have. Like, they're so confident, engaging and disengaging from these fights just immaculately. Like, this kind of game, if you just look at this game exclusively, it feels like Voidboys could be a top-tier NA team. Like, they could go against EG with this kind of confidence, but... I don't know. Obviously, that's speculative. This is a completely different matchup, but for right now, they are on fire. They're looking so good, other than being caught in some trees. Pat Soul farming away. He's 6 slotted for now, 7 slots. I would assume you'd be looking at Diffusal Blades and Ethereal Blades to buff up your ultimate damage. That agility, as well as the mana burn component, it makes it so you can drop your BKB, pick up the Diffusal or the E-Blade, and your Haunt will hurt that much harder when you double it up. And then, of course, you get your BKB back for when you go in.
Refresher now complete. That Haunt, which is already a nuisance once, now they have to deal with it twice here. If Voidboy ever had the initiation, that is going to be trouble for your Tidehunter on trying to really pull the game back with a double Ravage in his own right. He wouldn't be able to even blink in to find that opportunity. So with that, they pull back, and they consider what will probably be their high ground defense, because Voidboys are coming and knocking right now. And they still have that Aegis to work with. Beyond was very low when he grabbed it, but they couldn't finish him off. Desperate now, Hani tries to slow him down with the Fissure. Meanwhile, Bat taking to the sky, seeing if maybe he can get a quick snag. Summoner's Rift, man. If they can defend, they can hold down this game. But if Voidboy get a big win here, they could close out this series 2-0 in a big upset. They're poking. Oh.
The Shadow Amulet pickup from Hani might end up being like a blade later, but for right now it's actually giving the opportunity to Fissure across the opening here, and this actually causes a lot of issues for pushing to the base. Ravage going in, just one.
Connects on 3, but they focus Pat Soul here. If they could take him down, it'd be a big bounty. Trapped in the wards, they get him down, but he buys back and he has Haunt. He's got 2 Haunts if he wants to use it, so this could be a turnaround cleanup, and it looks like it will be. BSJ has to run back. He preserves the second Haunt for now and just goes instead for the wards, cleans them up, and then we'll probably go for the tier 3 thereafter. Glyph's still up and ready to go, but Beyond is also chopping away here. Summoner's Rift only have 2 last defenders here. The rest, now Demon has his own buyback, but look at this. Voidboy skip over the Rex. Petzl wants to go right for tier 4s.
Get Dispersion. That 2,700 damage is hardly from the Haunt when he came back in. Almost everybody was already dead when he did. Most of that damage came out right there on the front lines when they just gunned him down initially. He reflected so much damage, they didn't have their BKBs up, and they just got crushed. Rebounded with 1 ulti, ready with the second. Racks are gone. He's going to have another BKB, and they can go for the end game right now.
They jump forward. Quick Disjoint comes out from Banana, not going to get lassoed quite yet from Mercy, who still has it ready to go. Instead, Voidboy put their focus on the bottom lane. They want to clear out this tier 3. And, well, Summoner's Rift just trying to hope that they can get a couple of people back, but BSJ gets snagged, pulled right back to Pat Soul. Pat Soul pops his BKB and will be able to clean out the Banana Man. Forcing now to pull out his buy back. Tier 3 is going to be taken down, and Voidboy saying, we're out of here. Our job is done. We got what we wanted. Oh, Fly even has to pop his BKB, but just a secured getaway for now, it looks like. And even the charge. Oh, Summoner's Rift, just please get back here. We want to get something, anything at this point. But they can't. Even the lonely little Omega Porter support is just moving too fast for him. And with that, the damage has been done. Summoner's Rift, they lose their mid lane tier 3 in racks. They lose their tier 3 bottom lane. And hope for them seems to be almost all but lost at this point. It's going to take a huge comeback for Summoner's Rift to get themselves back into the game, just to take it to a game number 3.
Yeah, I mean, if they get the refresher orb on Demon, I really think they could go even with a 2-Rex disadvantage. But when it comes down to actual fights, Spectre's just too huge. Like, this 6-7 slotted Spectre is going to be doing more and more work. It looks like Batrider's going to have a refresher orb very shortly, too. Yeah, just needs the Perseverance. Will have to buy out for it, and indeed he does. So he has a refresher, but no buyback. I mean, if he gets caught without the BKB active, we could see a really big Ravage coming out from Miracle Chipmunk, but it's going to take that, a miracle, in order for them to really make the initiation stick the way they want it to. Because so far, these 4 staffs, the predictive plays from Voidboys, they really are just seem insurmountable.
This has been a game that Voidboys have pretty much had control of from the start. No real point that Summoner's Rift had, well, something going for them, and now they're just kind of reaching at a way to find their way, which they can. Like you said, Demon has the wards. They have the potential to take it right back into the base, but they still have to break through a couple of tier 2s even, and just hope for maybe a mid lane, just all-out blitz call. But as it stands right now, the raid boss himself, Pat Soul on the Spectre, just grossly overfarmed. About 3,200 gold. Could even just go for Boots of Travel if he ever wants to do the old dieback TP in. Doesn't even need that. He could just haunt his way back in. Didn't even have to use double haunt. Or he must have recently. He actually has it on cooldown.
He popped the refresher, but he never used the second set of cooldowns.
Okay, that makes more sense then. But, you know, he'll have it open, ready to go for this next engagement. Another big fight. They take another set of racks, and the hope for Summoner's Rift to fight out of this one looks pretty grim at this point. But, hey, they'll hold what they can. They got double Ravage in about 38 seconds time. Voidboys don't want to give them that time, though. They're already eyeballing this bottom lane.
It's just going to be plowing through here. Sniper doing what he can to delay it. He's got 2 more charges of Shrapnel here, but it's going to be extremely hard to hold. Like, the Phantom Lancer, after buying back, he picks up a Dominator, wants a Satanic, but the game just won't last long enough. Nice dodge out away from Mercy Please, though, and the Scotty is keeping him slowed.
All right, they could bring him down. No buyback for him if he drops, so he is out. 80 seconds, no Batrider initiation. Voidboys see that, and they're like, we're done here. And they just leave. Yeah.
Seriously, that actually just destroys their tempo. They're going to have to wait a full 75 seconds just to get back to where they were, and you're talking about the critical timing there, and now they're actually in a decent spot. Like, the Demon could actually get a refresher orb on this Shadow Shaman who has Ags in level 17. Can you, I mean, if you see that drop down on a lane, those racks are dead. Because no matter how fast Spectre tries to right-click, she just can't individually kill all those Serpent Wards before the structural damage is just too much. So if it's a rack game you want, it's a rack game you're going to have. I really think Summoner's Rift could just win this without winning a team fight.
They smoke. They're trying to catch any Voidboys just farming and waiting for their Batrider to come back, but there's no one nearby. Voidboys have pretty much all went full retreat mode back into the base with the exception of Pat Soul at the top, but even then, they just don't want to risk it. They're playing so safe right now, making sure they hold on to what lead they already got. They're not going to allow Summoner's Rift to find any sort of pick-off play here. Top lane, there is going to be a DD rune. The secondary Roche timer does pop, and it's only about a minute or so. So that's pretty good for Summoner's Rift, but then again, Batrider is back now in 10 seconds time. I don't think they got as much done that they liked during that bit of advantage. Voidboys just played so safe that they don't allow Summoner's Rift to get any sort of pick-off.
Delay game, but still going to be pressing the attack very shortly, I believe. They just have to make sure that they get the initiation. They don't just let somebody blink or force out and let the Batrider get destroyed again. I actually think the next time that happens, they'll have a kind of contingency plan where the Spectre just pops one ulti right when that occurs, so that they don't have really that great of tools to disengage. We've seen a couple of lineups work very well like that, where you have like a Zeus ulti right before the blink, so you don't have to worry about the blink out.
Well, speaking of blinks, though, they blink on Nahane. They grab and pull him back. He pops his own refresher. They take out the Earthshaker. Demon's going to fly shortly thereafter. Wards are going to be dropped. Refresher used. Pat Soul's second haunt flies, and now the damage is going to be unleashed. Brack's going to be assaulted there with the second lasso. And, well, Banana Slam Jamma, the lone survivor, very low on life, is going to be taken down. Double kill for Pat Soul and a couple of wards. Make it easy all day. And now they go down the bottom lane. They look to make their push. Only people with buyback at this point is Brax and Demon. Banana out for 800 seconds of no buyback. It looks like this is going to be Voidboy's game and possibly a 2-0 series. That's it.
Same.
Wow. What an upset.
Pat Soul Dota, man. It's just ridiculous.
What an upset. So Voidboys win here in what was only a 20% odds favored for them. Summoner's Rift unfortunately will go down, and they are going to be eliminated from the Summit 3. Voidboy will be able to move on. Just an impressive showing from them, man. Both games, they get it done with their stand in game 1. Patsoul makes his return to game number 2 and says, I can play Spectre, and I'll do it a little bit better than you, sir. 19-2 for him. Beautiful farm, beautiful job for them. Congratulations to Voidboys. Admirable effort, though, for Summoner's Rift.
I was really impressed with what they brought to the table here, and I expect a lot of good things to come from them if they can follow through with this kind of gameplay. I mean, the team sense was really the big picture here. It wasn't just getting a quick pick here or there, and that gives them a free, easy win. They fought hard for every single fight that they took here, but it was just so impressive. You got to highlight that mid double four staff defensive play, and you just got to say they played around the refresher really, really nicely too. I mean, the Tide, he farmed it up. He could have had the most amazing impact, but by the time he found it, they had 2 or 3 BKBs on hand, and they were ready to use them.
So that's going to wrap it up. That's just our first series of the NA pre-qualifier, what we're calling Phase 1 here for the Summit 3. But we got more Dota action coming. We got another best of 3 series following up here. It's going to be Isuru's Gaming taking on Team Tinker, the new Team Tinker, which is going to be in the NA division. A lot of people have a lot of questions about that. We'll see if we can answer them and find out exactly who's going to be playing on this roster coming up soon. I believe that match is scheduled to happen in about 45-50 minutes time. So we have a little bit of a break, so go out, use the bathroom, take a shower, have a snack, do what you got to do, and come on back here for some more Dota action. Bringing you the coverage for the BATS squad is myself, KotLGuy, and joining me remotely is Blaze. So show your support and love by hitting us up on our Twitters at KotLGuy and at BlazeCasting. A pleasure as always, folks. We'll be back, like I said, in 45 seconds time for our next matchup for Tinker and Isurus. Be back very soon.